Hey guys, it's PK here. How's it going? I'm running Selby. My opponent is running Aerodactyl. We both have our lead pokes out. Let's get to it. I quickly switch my Celebi to Coon. I have a Baton Pass Celebi there, so it most likely would not take that HP fly well. My Coon does, however. I go for Calm Mind as he switches to Slaking, which hits like a truck. It's not seen that often because of its horrible ability Traunt, which forces it to wait a turn between attacks. So what most people do with Slaking is they hit really hard and they switch out. So another disadvantage of Slaking is the fact that it makes switches pretty predictable. But a huge advantage is that it can basically destroy a team by chipping away at all the pokes' health pretty severely. My Magneton fortunately does not get killed with the frustration that prompts him out. I go for Toxic. It lands on the Porygon. I managed to get a Thunderbolt off before the Porygon 2 uses what I presume to be Hidden Power Fire to take out my Magneton. And thanks to Porygon 2's Trace ability, I couldn't switch out because it gained a Magneton's Metal Pull, I don't know what it's called, but basically keeps Steel types from leaving. So yeah. Now I'm deciding what I want to bring in here. I could bring my Regice in, that would be the safest thing. However, that would prompt him probably to bring Slaking in. And I think Celebi here would be a bit better here because I can use Baton Pass as I'm doing here and maybe see what he's switching into and get some tempo back on my side. Unfortunately, he does not switch, which I'm surprised. I think he would want to get some of that toxic damage from accumulating. So I switched to my Regice right away because he did not switch his Porygon 2. And so I'm back to what my original plan could have been, which is to bring my Regice in as opposed to my Celebi. Slaking does come in, however, as I predicted. Ice Beam does a little more than I expected, but it will prompt me to switch. Fortunately, it doesn't go for Earthquake or something like that, which would kill my T-Tar. I do survive the Hyper Beam, but even resisting it takes more than half my health. I get behind a sub, though, while he just carelessly slacks off with his Slaking. This should let him know I have Focus Punch and he should get out of there. It does. He goes to his Mence, which resists it nicely. However, the Mence is not gaining leftovers, which means it's probably Choice Banded. He breaks the sub. I do land Crunch, but that activates Lychee Berry on Salamence, so it's not Choice Banded. It's running Lychee Berry, so it gets a nice boost to its attack. So I have to keep that in mind, especially into what I switch. Because it's not locked into anything, it's just yeah, it's got all 4 moves, so, and it's got some nifty attack raises, so I gotta be careful here. This team is catching me off guard a bit. No wonder nothing's happening. I go to my Celebi, he goes for Brick Break, he dies to Sandstream. So fortunately that Lychee Berry did not come into play. Brings Dugtrio in. I do Baton Pass here, knowing he's locked in the HP Bug, and I take out his Dugtrio with Earthquake. My Celebi is basically fodder though at this point because Sandstream will kill if I bring it in. So Celebi is as good as dead. Porygon 2 though does use its Trace ability to lock me in, and so my Dugtrio dies to Ice Beam pretty easily. I'm not sure if I would have lived the Ice Beam minus the crit, but I don't think it would have mattered. The Porygon 2 is racking up poison damage, but I'm going to keep on the pressure. I'm going to go for Ice Beam. This should prompt him to switch out because eventually Recover's not even going to recover anything, ironically, because toxic damage will accumulate. So what he's going to have to switch in is probably Slaking. Slaking could take another Ice Beam, but if it does get hit by Ice Beam, it will take a lot of damage and it'll be on his last leg. So he decides to fire off the Porygon 2 and bring the Slaking in for free, which should prompt me to switch. I think my Regice is pretty valuable at this point. I haven't exactly seen, have I seen all his pokes? No, there's still a mystery poke. Yeah, I don't know what his last poke is, so the Regice could be valuable, so I can't just fire it off to bring something in safely. I could bring in my Celebi and just fodder it off, and I think that would be a good thing to do. It will die to Sandstream though first, so it doesn't really matter. Suicune does not want to come into that. That's pretty valuable against the Aerodactyl, and T-Tar probably doesn't want to come in because it can be valuable as well. So I think the Celebi is the way to go, but unfortunately I make a kind of a stupid move. I bring my my Tyranitar in here, which, yeah, that was not good. I was not thinking that through very well. So Frustration lands my T-Tar, and that frustrates me, so I can't sub up because I'm at low level of health, and I guess I'm forced to go for Focus Punch, so we'll see. His Mystery Poke is Magneton, which makes sense. Skarmory would wall the Slaking, so that's a good build. But the Magneton's not going to do anything because it dies to Focus Punch. Aerodactyl comes in knowing I'm locked into that move, and so I just fired it off. And now it's time to bring Kun in, and this could actually go in my favor. My Kun's at a reasonable level of health. And the Slaking probably won't want to switch into it, but I guess it does. It barely lives Surf. It will die to Sandstream next turn. So, yeah, Slaking coming in. I really don't need my Regice anymore, and I don't really need my Celebi anymore, but the Celebi is dead, so I should probably fire that off, but I'm kind of stupid, so I just fire off my Regice for no reason. I think I forgot about my Celebi. I think I considered it dead, so I didn't really... Yeah, I didn't really think it existed anymore. But it did. Unfortunately, Sandstream doesn't take out the Slaking, but that's no problem. It's Taunting, so I take it out with Surf. Rock Slide connects. I don't kill it with Surf, surprisingly, right away. So he has a chance to flinch here. It doesn't work. Nope, it doesn't work, so I take it out with Surf next turn. I get a critical hit for good measure. Not that it mattered. So the final score is 2-0. In practical terms, it would have been 1-0 because my Celebi was basically fodder, as I said. So that was pretty close. Slaking definitely, I think, made me play a little worse than I would have played normally. I guess I didn't have a way to react to it properly. It made me nervous, and therefore made me make kind of stupid plays. But yeah, anyway, I think what allowed me to win was the fact that I kept my Kun healthy, and I also think it was just the Slaking's Taunt ability that gave me plenty of time to react to it, allowed me to sub up behind a substitute, and go for Focus Punch, put him on edge, and overall it's just the Taunt ability that's made things easier. So that's definitely Slaking's downfall, and I think that's what allowed me to win, despite the mistakes I made. But yeah, lesson over. I hope you enjoyed the battle. Rate, comment, subscribe, and look forward to the next battle.